Kumusta tayo mga kababayan? Ito po si Nico Fabian, nandito na naman ulit sa programa natin Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. And today is October 6 na, Monday, and hope we are starting itong magandang sabihin natin working week natin. Monday na Monday ngayon, and sana okay na okay ang buhay natin po kung nasaan man kayo. Especially ang mga kababayan ko dito sa Malaysia, particularly dito sa Sabah. Kumusta kayo? Particularly, specifically dito sa Kota Kinabalu. Kumusta kayo? Kumusta tayo? And ingat-ingat lang tayo dahil ang weather condition natin po medyo ganon-ganon. At kumusta din? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening ang mga kapatid natin, mga overseas Filipino workers in other parts of the world, iba-ibang nasyon. Kumusta kayo? And I hope everything is running smoothly sa mga buhay ninyo po. And of course, huwag natin kalimutan din ang mga kababayan natin dyan sa Pilipinas. Alam namin na dito mga kababayan ninyo dito sa Sabah, alam namin na malaking ang problema natin dyan sa Pilipinas, dyan sa Pilipinas, and it seems that medyo nagiging complicated na itong issue. Marami ng mga issues, marami ng mga suggestions coming out on how to solve ang problema natin, itong graft and corruption. Grabe ang graft and corruption dyan sa Pilipinas, and it involves billions if not trillions of taxpayers' money. And dahil dyan, galit na po ang mga Filipino. Hindi lang kami dito sa Malaysia, but ang mga kababayan natin, mga brothers and sisters natin sa iba-ibang parte ng mundo, especially ang mga overseas Filipino workers who, paano, in many ways, in a big way po, dahil sa sakripisyo ng mga overseas Filipino workers, we are able to help ang economy ng nasyon natin, ang Pilipinas. And in return, what we are expecting, na dapat lang sana po, ang gobyerno natin will give ang good public facilities sa mga tao, sa mga tao dyan sa Pilipinas. Especially, ang mga loved ones namin whom we left sa Pilipinas temporarily po, habang kami mga overseas Filipino workers are doing our level best to earn money dito po and send sa Pilipinas. And by through our remittances, ang Pilipinas is also sabihin natin benefiting in terms of our remittances. Ang dami na po every year ang record ng mga Filipinos who are remitting money is more than trillion na po. Trillion na. And that's a big amount. But unfortunately, instead of compensating properly sa amin, ang mga overseas Filipino workers, ang mga ang gobyerno, ang gobyerno natin and mga fellow kababayan natin, especially those na sa gobyerno, elected politicians, lawmakers natin, ang mga government officials natin, dahil sa amin, dahil sa mga taxpayers' money, mayroon kayong mga sweldo, maganda ang buhay ninyo. But unfortunately, what we discovered and what is happening now, galit na ang mga Filipino, dahil ang pera ng bayan, it only goes to itong irresponsible, greedy, sabi natin, greedy politicians, hindi naman lahat, greedy politicians, greedy, sabi natin, government officials natin sa mga diferente government agencies and departments, especially itong public works, Department of Public Works and Highways, na klarong-klaro na they are involved, they are heavily involved in this scandalous transactions of development programs sa Pilipinas, ang mga flood control projects and other infrastructure projects sa Pilipinas. And dahil dyan, malaking problema ang Pilipinas, and galit na ang mga tao. Mayroon din na rally scheduled on October 12. Tingnan natin what will happen sa Pilipinas. Sana lang po it will be another peaceful rally, and those who took advantage of the recently concluded rally demonstration dyan sa Pilipinas to show ang mga Filipino showing their anger, disappointment about the gravity of the corruption activities sa Pilipinas last September 21 po. They took advantage by creating chaos, no? And it was not the work. It was not the work of the demonstrators po. There are some people who took advantage to disturb ang peaceful rally organized by several organizations dyan sa Pilipinas who are very concerned about the welfare future of the fellow Filipinos, of our fellow Filipinos. And the issue talaga po is graft and corruption. Graft and corruption. Alright. Now, today, ngayon, Monday ngayon, wala tayo. I was expecting mayroon tayong alas 3, no? Alas 3, mayroon tayong plenary session dyan po sa Senado at saka sa House of Representatives. Unfortunately, on recess pala sila, no? Recess ba yun? They suspended ang plenary session po. And it will continue, I think, later this month. But anyway, may mga issues tayo that I want to discuss with you, especially itong proposal made by a legislator, a lawmaker, calling for or proposing for a snap election as one of the solutions to address the problem. Mayroon din concerned individuals or personalities, high-ranking officials dyan sa Pilipinas, also proposed, suggested that lahat mga opisyales sa Marcos administration to resign and start a brand new start na po. Para at least itong mga corrupt individuals will be removed and will be put to jail if found guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Alright, we also, I will also be sharing some video clips sa mga followers natin dito sa TikTok, The Real Talk with Nico. Ang reaction, ang comments, ang sentiments, ang statement ni religious leader natin sa Pilipinas, no? Sa Pilipinas, hindi lang sa Pilipinas, but sa mundo, nasa Vatican siya po. And I'm referring to Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, no? Reverend Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle. Mayroon tayong recorded interview po which I managed to get in one of the mainstream media po when they interviewed ito si Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle. Later on, I'm going to share with you. But at this, you will know ano ang stand ng sabihin natin ng religious group natin sa Pilipinas, no? Sa Pilipinas, because they are also participating sa mga demonstrations, peaceful demonstrations. They also participate and conduct itong prayer rallies po para sa Pilipinas o dyan po sa Pilipinas. And later on also, I will be sharing with you a portion of the interview by ANC, kaya former ombudsman, former ombudsman natin, si Conchita Morales. Same thing, she will be, she gave her opinion, statement po regarding of what is happening ngayon sa Pilipinas, ang issue ng corruption. At saka ito ongoing investigation carried out by the Blue Ribbon Committee as well as ang newly established Independent Commission for Infrastructure designed to investigate ang anomalous transactions carried out dyan po sa Pilipinas sa mga flood control projects and other development infrastructure programs sa Pilipinas. So later on yun po. But to start ang programa natin, diretso na tayo sa isang news regarding itong proposal po, no? There was a proposal made by Senator and Minority Leader ng Senado, si Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, wherein he is proposing to the Senate, is proposing to Malacanang to conduct a snap election. To conduct a snap election as a solution to address the problem dyan po sa Pilipinas caused by this corruption issues. No, corruption issues. So, yon ang suggestion niya, yon ang proposal niya. And narinig natin, mayroon mga affirmative and negative reactions coming from the different sectors ng community ng mga Filipinos dyan sa Pilipinas at saka dito din sa Malaysia and mga overseas Filipino workers. Yon ang issue that we will be touching. Touching ang first topic natin dito sa programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Alright, to start with, nandito, I will share with you itong video clip. Video clip po. Video clip about ang snap election. Report ito from the mainstream media. From the mainstream media. This is the report from the mainstream media today. Nandito. Let's listen and watch to this report. Hold on.
Nananawagan naman sa Senate Minority Leader Alan Peter Cayetano na isagawa ang snap elections para sa lahat ng matataas na opisyal ng pamahalaan, kabilang sina Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr., Vice President Sara Duterte at mga miyembro ng Kongreso. Git ni Cayetano, panahon na para sa fresh start matapos bumaba ang tiwala ng publiko sa mga institusyon at opisyal ng gobyerno dahil sa mga aligasyon ng korupsyon. Ibinumungkahi rin ng senador na walang sino ang kasalukuyang opisyal ang dapat payagang tumakbo muli sa susunod na halalan upang bigyan daan ang bagong pamunuan. Dagdag pa ng senador, ang panukala ay hakbang tungo sa clean slate at tunay na pagbabago ng pamahalaan.
Alright, yan ang proposal ni Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. To solve this problem, let's go for snap election. Presidente, Vice President, Senator, and Congressman. Ang mga iba, huwag na. Yun lang po. So, do you think it is a good proposal? For some, they say it's a good proposal. For others, they say it is unconstitutional. So, sa palagay ninyo po, what do you think? Now, for me, if you ask me, it reminds me of what happened during the time of the late former President of the Philippines, si Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Remember, before the people's power, the issue ngayon of former President Marcos Sr. and the issue of the son ngayon, Marcos Jr., parehas din, corruption. Corruption ng issue during the time of Marcos Sr. And ngayon, Marcos Jr., corruption din. During the time of Marcos Sr., he also, because of the clamor, mga allegations left and right, what he did was to call for a snap election. So, the whole country went for a snap election. And the result, what happened? The administration claimed that they won in the election. But the opposition side say the election was rigged, cheated, and nanalo daw po ang partido ni Aquino. Gloria Aquino. See? So, ganon yung nangyari. There was a snap election. And then after that, the election result came in. People were not happy with the election, thinking that there was cheating in the election. And it triggered, no? Because Marcos Sr. stuck to the election result, nanalo siya, so still the president of the Philippines. So after 1 or 2 years, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, alright, what happened, nag-trigger na yan po after the death of former Senator Benigno Aquino, no? Benigno Aquino sa Pilipinas, it triggered ang people's power. So nandoon nagkaroon ng first people's power. That was in 1986, February 25. Yun po nangyari ang people's power. And ousted ang Marcoses. Ferdinand Marcos Sr. was removed from the Philippines and he went to Hawaii together with his family. Yun po. And there he stayed for quite a long time until he died. Namatay na si Marcos Sr. Then here comes the investigation result of the election. And it shows that truly, Marcos won in that snap election. But one thing nice there is that Marcos Sr. was very brave enough and very confident na sabi niya, okay, if this is the case, balik tayo sa mga tao, mag-election tayo ulit, and let the people decide if they want me to be the president or change the president or I will step down. Unfortunately, something went wrong there and he was removed. He was removed as president, flew to Hawaii, and and then they conducted the investigation. Investigation po itong snap election. Only to find out, after the death of Marcos Sr., only to find out that truly Marcos won in the election. So ngayon, it reminded me of what happened during the time of the father of Bongbong Marcos. Ngayon, similar ang situation natin. Wherein the issue now is on corruption, graft and corruption. Parehas din yan ang issue. Now here comes a Senator, Alan Peter Cayetano, who we saw him every time my difficult situation sa Senado, no? Senator Alan Peter Cayetano will always come out with a solution to diffuse whatever problems the Senate is facing. See? To diffuse. And he's always successful. So ngayon, what he's saying is, balik na tayo sa election, snap election. But others were saying, hindi pwede. And if you want snap elections, others were saying, why don't you start stepping down? And then see if people and others will follow you. So, that is the situation sa Pilipinas ngayon. Snap election or hindi snap election? Kayo po, what do you think? Mga kababayan ko dyan sa Pilipinas, mga kababayan ko dito po sa Malaysia, particularly dito sa Sabah, do you agree that the snap election is the best solution to solve itong problema? Because whether we like it or not, just like what happened during Marcos Sr., wala nang trust ang mga tao sa gobyerno. Ngayon din, wala nang trust ang mga tao sa gobyerno, sa administrasyon ni Marcos Jr. or BBM. So is that the solution? At saka hindi lang si Senator Alan Peter Cayetano suggests that, no? Meron din proposal or suggestion made by the former defense chief ng Pilipinas. And I am referring to former defense chief Norberto Gonzales. Siya din the other day also suggested to Malacanang, to the government, that in order for us to see the real change that we are aspiring for, due to these issues of corruptions, involvement of elected officials, lawmakers, government officials, and the business sectors, mga contractors, nawala ng trust, in order for us, for the government, to gain back the trust of the people, of the Filipinos, he suggested that all the officers of the Marcos administration to step down. To step down. John din ang suggestions ni former defense chief, si Norberto Gonzales. But, of course, as expected, not everybody will support that kind of an idea. Idea of Nograles and the idea of Alan Cayetano. Hindi lahat. But anyway, it's only a proposal, it's only a suggestion, it is up. It's up to us. It's up to us. It's up to the people concerned, kagaya mga senators, mga congressmen, sa presidente, sa vice president. Depende na yan po. Because stepping down is a voluntary act. Remember, these politicians were elected by the people. Nobody can tell them you step down. Hindi pwede po. It should be voluntary. It should be voluntary. But it should, if there is that sincerity, and they believe that the solution to get back the confidence, the trust of the people is by stepping down, then they can do that voluntarily. And it should start from the president. It would start from the president, vice president, and then they go for election. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the way things are moving, I think Inday Sara Duterte is more than willing to resign, to step down, and then go for election. I think mga senador din, they are more than willing, provided lahat. No? Mahirap naman yun, isa, dalawa lang, and then the others will not follow. Mahirap na yan po. So, kayo, what do you think? You think this is the best solution or not? Alright? Now, we will also be touching, no? Kayo na bahala. I will leave it to you. Itong sabihin natin, snap election. I will leave it to you. Now, let's touch on other issues. Itong ICC, for example. ICC. Ongoing investigations sa ICC. Because it refers to trust. No? Now, there was an interview by also respectable broadcaster, si Karen Davila, and she interviewed si former ombudsman, retired na yan, Conchita Morales, and she asked Madam Morales on how he looked at the newly established independent commission for infrastructure. Let's listen to this po. Let's listen to this interview. But siguro una-una we will play ang video clip ni Madam Morales wherein she was asked to comment on the corruption issue sa Pilipinas ngayon. Let's see. Hold on, let's see. 150. Hanap tayo ang 150. Let's listen. Let's listen to Karen Davila and former ombudsman, retired na ito, si Conchita Morales. Let's listen to this video clip.
Honored to have with us Ramon Magsaysay awardee, former Senior Associate Justice and former Ombudsman, a woman of integrity, Conchita Carpio Morales. Ma'am, magandang hapon po sa inyo. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for taking me here.
Justice Morales, you've seen corruption in government up close. You were ombudsman for 7 years. Today, when you hear about the alleged flood control scandal, the corruption, the anomalies, what was your immediate reaction?
Of course, I was sick and tired. I thought that corruption had been minimized, but on the contrary, it was worsened. Well, those PDAF were so widespread, but they were not involved big amount as the amounts now. Now we are talking of billions and not only millions. And the sad part about this is that some, if not most, of the legislators are involved here.
Now, billions are in question. Ghost project, favored contractors, kahit po recycled funding. In your view, in your long years in government service, is this just incompetence? Is it a systemic issue? Or is it deep-seated corruption?
Deep-seated corruption, it's intentional. It's not incompetence. It's intentional. It's avarice. It's greed. It's, people are just after money. So materialistic. There's a mix of cultural reasons and probably greed for money because you don't know if corruption spawned from utang na loob or what.
You were ombudsman.
Okay, narinig natin si Madam Morales. I totally agree with her. Suportado ako sa kanya ang statement niya. Why? Because I believe that this corruption that happened dyan po sa 2025 national budget natin, sa mga flood control projects natin, mga sabi natin itong anomalous dealings with the contractors carried out not only by the engineers of the Department of Public Works and Highways, no, and other departments who collaborated with the engineers or directors, no, together with our lawmakers, mga congressmen and senators, their names were mentioned. It is no longer coincidence. No? It was already planned. That was intentional. They really planned to cheat the people. Because they saw malaki itong pera. So when we talk about malaki itong pera po, in other words, greedy talaga sila of money. And you see how they do things. When they do things, they get the money already po. We heard about the investigation, initial findings. Some of these engineers spend billions of money in casinos. They travel left and right. They buy expensive cars. Not only senators, not only congressmen, as alleged, but also government officials, Department of Public Works and Highways, and other departments and other agencies and departments, government agencies and departments, including itong mga contractors. They buy expensive cars, send their children abroad, enjoy life, spend money like water. And this has been going on for quite a long time. And hindi lang yan po ang mga Filipinos. We are now convinced that it is not only the work of these senators and congressmen and government officials and contractors. Mayroon pa yan po mas mataas sa kanila, who is also benefiting who's also greedy. But nobody wants to mention the name of that person. Nobody wants to mention the name of that person. For reasons is very obvious. Takot sila. They are afraid. But the Filipinos knows. 140 million Filipinos. We already know who. We already know who. And this is the very reason why people, if you notice in the rallies, they are shouting accountability. They are shouting, stop corruption. Ikulong ang mga corrupt. Resign Marcos. Yan, that is the reason. We were cheated left and right. Dahil sa greediness. I call it greediness. I call it greediness. Totoo yun. It's no longer coincident or let's say for example, somebody just told this somebody, a lawmaker, sir, meron tayo dito konti then we, if you want, then we do something. Coincident lang yan. But this one planned already from the very beginning. From the preparation of the National Expenditure Program hanggang sa GAA, sa GAP. Nandyan na po. They planned it already. In fact, narinig na natin sa mga investigation. Officials, top officials from the Department of Public Works and Highways nag-message sa senator na ganito, ganito, ganito. Plano yun. Plano yun. Alright? So, because of that, wala nang trust ngayon ang mga tao sa gobyerno. And it happened, the same thing, during the time of Marcos Sr. and now, history is repeating dito po sa time ni BBM, Bongbong Marcos Jr. Okay? So, yon ang statement ni former Ombudsman Morales. Okay, when we talk about the International Commission for Infrastructure, anong sagot, anong answer ni Madam Morales when she was asked that question? How do you look at the ICI? Nandito. Let me share with you again this video clip of Madam Morales.
There's no transparency in our system. Everything was shrouded in secrecy, and whereas probably the higher officials noticed that there were a lot of corrupt activities, they tolerated them. The ICI, ang binuong ICI ni Pangulong Marcos Jr., are you optimistic with the investigation, the powers, and the results? Well, to begin with, I cannot be optimistic because the hearings are supposed to be held in secrecy. They don't involve the public. I don't understand why, because even the courts, sitting as courts, is open to the public. It's only when, in the interest of morality and decency, that the judge may conduct hearings in private. Ito hindi naman morality or decency. Immorality and indecency. Indecency not in the literal meaning of the word. So I don't understand why they don't do it transparently. They don't do it publicly. The ICI said they don't want trial by publicity. The mere fact that Congress or Senate conducts hearings openly, it is not trying by publicity. Because people who will decide will be the ICI people, but their decision will only be recommendatory. It should be the ombudsman really who should do the investigating.
Yan ang comment ni Madam Morales. And again, I strongly support the answer statement of Madam Morales. Nawala na nga ng trust ang mga tao sa gobyerno, Marcos administration. Yet here come the Marcos administration, form or establish a commission to investigate. Recommendatory lang ito, ha? To investigate, and whatever findings they have, they will submit the findings or recommend for any action to the authorities concerned, like the ombudsman. Like the ombudsman. And in the event, the ombudsman, the next ombudsman will be our Department of Justice Secretary, si Jesus Crispin Remulla, then may issue na naman yan. May issue na naman yan. So let's see. Let's see po, no? Let's see. But I totally agree with Madam Morales na kailangan itong ICI should be transparent. In other words, open it to the public. Open it to the public. Just like what is happening dyan po sa Blue Ribbon Committee. Open it to the public. That's the only way that you can get back the trust of the Filipinos. For as long as you keep it confidential, you keep it secret, ang investigation ninyo po, people don't trust you anymore. And what will happen if this thing will continue? Baka we are going to have another. I'm not encouraging, but I fear that we are going to have another people's power. Sana lang po, hindi na yung mangyari. Kasi it will be a disgrace on the part of President Bongbong Marcos Jr. Remember, the Filipinos gave him a chance to redeem the name of the Marcoses. But I hope he will not. He will not spoil this chance given to him. Ngayon, gano'n na nga eh. I hope and pray that it will not happen. It will not happen. Alright? So yun, ang sabihin natin, ang comments ni Madam Morales. Next issue that we're going to go is itong, okay, saan ba ito? Itong issue ni Senator Ping Lacson, who is now the Blue Ribbon Committee Chairman. Yesterday, I reported sa inyo that he is seriously contemplating of stepping down as the chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee. Yeah. Shoutout muna tayo kay Mary Lou Pentojo is watching our program. And of course, si Inday, si Ben, si Art, si Dodong. Alright. Thank you very much for watching and keep on watching because dito po you will be able to get the news that you deserve. I won't be able to give you the breaking news. I might not be, or I will not be the first one to break the news, but at least you are going to get the news. No? Especially ang mga Filipinos dito sa Sabah because it is for this very reason that I'm doing this channel dahil I want to make sure that ang mga kababayan ko, mga kapatid ko dito sa Malaysia, dito sa Sabah, particularly dito sa Kota Kinabalu, of which I am here, based ako dito sa Kota Kinabalu, na I want that you, despite of your heavy or hectic schedule sa trabaho, at least once you will have time, maybe you can replay this program, no? Kung may time na kayo, and you will be able to know what is really happening sa Pilipinas. And you will not be blurred po kung ano-ano nangyari sa Pilipinas. Okay? So, tungkol naman sa planning, seriously planning of stepping down as a Blue Ribbon Committee Chairman ni Senator Ping Lacson. Because I heard last night hanggang this morning na they already confirmed na bumaba na, step down na si Senator Ping Lacson as a chairman of the committee. But during the press conference of Senate President Tito Soto this morning, he made it clear that he has yet to receive the letter of resignation. Resignation letter coming from Senator Ping Lacson on his intention, on his decision to set aside, to step down as Blue Ribbon Committee Chairman. Wala pa po. No? Wala pa po. Although, ganun talaga. Most likely, it will happen. It will happen. So, let me share with you itong topic or issue ni Ping Lacson, ang reaction ni Tito Sen. Nandito. Ano ba ito? Anong Q niya? Q number niya is 135. 135. Let's listen to Tito Sen, ang Senate President, on this issue.
Nagkausap kami kagabi. Wala pang may tinatanggap. Wala pa naman siyang pinapadalang sulat or I think he wants to do that personally. Nagkausap kami kagabi. And ayun, nagkausap kami kagabi. You know, Senator Lacson is frustrated. He's not stressed. Sanay sa stress yun eh. Yeah, pero ang nakikita niya, frustrated because nag-hearing siya, may maangal. Bakit nag-hearing? Pag hindi siya nag-hearing, may maangal. Ba't hindi nag-hearing? Ano ba talaga? Diba? So, and then I think the way he ran the Blue Ribbon Committee hearings were very good. So, siguro, the man is frustrated. I will support whatever decision he makes, and I will accept whatever decision he makes, and he has my 100% support, whatever it is.
SP, yung pong decision niya po ba ay final na o pwede pa po siyang mapahinuhod ng majority at ninyo na magstay put as chairman po ng Blue Ribbon Committee?
I think that question is best asked of him. I cannot answer for him.
Alright, narinig ninyo na he has yet to receive the official resignation letter of Senator Ping Lacson stepping down as the chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee. Although, nag-usap daw sila kagabi. No? Nag-usap na sila kagabi. So, hanggang ngayon, wala pa. Wala pa. And it will only take effect kung sakali mayroon ng letter, it will only take effect according to SP Soto kung mayroon na bagong elected chairman ng Blue Ribbon Committee. Or unless si Senator Ping Lacson will mention in his letter or personally say that immediately, effective immediately, that is stepping down. So ngayon, hindi pa natin alam. But most likely, he will be stepping down. He will be stepping down. Okay, I have another video clip dito kay SP Soto. And this time around, he's commenting on the proposal or suggestion of Senator Ellen Peter Cayetano on the snap election. Suggestion, proposal ito to carry out a snap election. Okay, let's listen to the reaction of SP, of SP Tito Soto. Nandito po. Let's watch and listen.
No,
Si SP, ano muna?
bakit daw inimbita?
SP, yung ano muna, comment sa panawagang magbitiw from president to congressman and then sunod na namin yung snap elections.
There is no legal or constitutional basis for a framework to do or a framework to do that. So I think it's an opinion of a legislator. So I will leave it at that. Hindi pwedeng gawin yun at the moment.
Restore the trust of the public daw, SP, sa gitna ng mga issues ng corruption.
Well, first of all, and I have vowed already, we will make sure that the budget process, as far as the Senate is concerned, will be transparent and accountable. Everything will be done through the eyes or within the purview of the people, no, of the public. So that's one. No? And then hopefully the ICI can open to the public its deliberations. No? That's another. And the most important of all is that the judiciary act well. In other words, may mga ma-prosecute, may mga makulong, at may find guilty yung mga guilty. You know, to make sure that those who are guilty are proven so and are sentenced. Palagay ko, doon pag nakita ng mga tao na gano'n na nangyayari, malinaw ang paggamit ng pera nila. Diba? Malinaw ang investigasyon. Malinaw din ang resulta ng judiciary. What more can you ask for?
Yan po ang reaction ni SP Soto. And I agree. I totally agree with SP Soto when it comes to his explanation, his reasoning. Totoo din yan po. No? Totoo din yan. I agree. Yung ICI investigation should be open. Again, it should be open to the public. Hindi pwede, it is not open. We don't trust anymore. And then you will keep it secret pa sa mga investigation ninyo. So what do you think, mga Pilipino? Excuse me, mga Pilipino. Ganon na lang ba ang tingin ninyo sa mga Pilipino? Now we will accept whatever you say, and which you have done it. And the result is, nawala billions and trillions of taxpayers' money. Ganon na lang ba? You think the Filipinos will accept that? So sana, I hope, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, please open up the ICI hearing. We want to know. And we want to know, and we want to see these people involved will be going to the jail. They will be behind bars. There must be transparency. There must be justice. There must be accountability. Kailangan na kailangan yan. For as long as you cannot give these things to us, then I don't know what will happen to the Philippines. Because you yourself, Mr. President, and at saka mga advisors ng Presidente, kayo mismo nakita ninyo. And you also admitted na galit na ang mga Filipinos. Galit na ang tao. Tama na. Enough is enough. For the sake of our country. For the sake of the generations and generations to come. Tayo, ang generation natin ngayon. We have to do something. Tama na yun. Bunganga ng bunganga lang. We talk and talk. Let us put our words into action now. By doing so, I think we will be able to solve our problem and progress. Kayo nang bahala, ang mga kaibigan ko. Kayo nang bahala to judge. Anyway, okay. Sana tayo. Okay. There was this, I mentioned about former defense, civil defense chief. Si Nograles, wherein he also suggested ang mga tao dyan sa Marcos administration to step down, to resign, and start a brand new set of officers to manage our country. Now, mayroon yung interview kay President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos dyan sa INC, and ito ang answer niya, ito ang reaction ni Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos or BBM. Let's watch and listen to this video clip, which I have prepared para sa inyong lahat. So at least you will have an idea. You will have an idea of what is happening dyan po sa Pilipinas when it comes to this issue. Nasaan na yun? You hold on, Saan na yun? Saan na yun? Oops, sandali. Ang queue natin is 251. Sana yung 251. Sandali lang po, Medyo 251. Nandito. Let's listen to this.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is not convinced that the government should stop hounding officials involved in a novel flood control project after they stepped down from office, saying that the resignation of these individuals is not enough. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. gave that statement in his latest podcast episode, and while he did not mention particular officials, it is common knowledge that Zaldico, a former lawmaker who founded a construction company linked to substandard flood control projects, resigned as Ako Bicol party list representative last month, while later Representative Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, the president's cousin, stepped down as House Speaker following reports of his alleged involvement in the irregularity that has been dubbed as the Philippines' biggest corruption scandal. Here's what the president said.
Does resigning absolve people of culpability? No. Okay, that's not sufficient. That's very good to hear. Oh, no, that's not enough. That's not enough. There is a great deal of damage that has been caused. Not only financial damage or economic damage, but actual damage to people's lives. I mean, how can you live with that? I can't live with it, so I won't live with it. So we'll keep pushing. Nothing will happen to the Philippines if we carry on this way. Wala na talagang mangyayari sa atin. The economy will never grow properly. People are not going to get helped. The schools will not get better. The hospitals will not get better. We're not going to get anywhere. Yeah. All of these sorts of things will just disappear. And we'll just be this little nation that's feeding upon itself.
Karina, in that same podcast, the president was also asked about the possibility of investigations leading to the backyard of his allies. And the president says that he thinks that we are already there. He also underscores that he did not bring up this issue out of political advantage, and he says he simply wants to stop this corruption mess. He describes the scale of corruption in the flood control project as shocking, saying that apparently in the last administration, the government removed certain safeguards or standard procedures such as the approval of local
Alright, yun po ang statement ni President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos or BBM. Yes, I also agree. I also agree that the resignation is not enough. Kaya what happened si former Congressman Saldi Ko, si former Speaker of the House of Representatives, si Martin Romualdez, they stepped down, they resigned as a Speaker. Si Martin Romualdez resigned as a Speaker but still a Congressman. Si Saldi Ko resigned as a Congressman. But that is not enough. That is not enough. We want to see them. Kung talagang guilty sila, of corruption, they should be behind bars. They should be behind bars. Hindi lang ang resignation, tapos na yan. Hindi pwede yan. Yan ang sigaw ng mga Pilipino. I hope na ang resulta itong mga investigasyon, ongoing investigation on this issue, on this topic, on this scandal, will end up, Filipinos will be saying itong mga guilty parties will be behind bars. So far, wala pang mga warrant of arrest. And we also want to see na ito si Saldi Ko will return back to the Philippines. Return back to the Philippines and face the allegations or charges against him. And immediately, although it's a little bit late, but dapat mag-frost na lahat ang mga properties nila. You just imagine reports coming out that Saldi Ko and others owns fleet of aircrafts, chopper, helicopter, Luprano, planes, cars, expensive cars, several houses, big houses, we call it mansion already, not only in the Philippines but also outside the Philippines. Billions of money they used. And God knows that's the money of the Filipinos. God knows. I hope we will be able to recover itong mga pera natin. Mga pera natin po. See what is happening now. Sa Cebu province, may lindol, may earthquake. Pupunta pa ang presidente sa Kongreso to hingi, to ask for a budget para makatulong sa mga victims of the earthquake and victims of typhoons. And remember, we are expecting several more typhoons coming into the Philippines hanggang end of this year. So kung gano'n na lang, palagi na lang pupunta sa Kongreso, ibig sabihin, wala na tayong pera. Malaki din ang confidential funds ng presidente. 4 billion, 4 trillion. Why can he use that money immediately to extend helping hands dyan po sa mga biktima? Yon ang sentimiento ng mga taong bayan. So okay, let's move to another video clip. Mayroon tayo dito. And this time around, I want to share with you another video clip and regarding the statement made by former Senate President, former Senate President po sa Pilipinas, sino ito? When he was interviewed by another broadcaster, very respectable also, sa programa niya 2x2, si Ka Tonyin. And si Gordon was asked, no, this is not Gordon, this is, sino ito? from Iloilo. Huh? And he was asked to comment on itong issues natin ngayon sa Pilipinas. Let's watch and listen to the interview of Ka Tonying. Ka Tonying, hold on. Nandito po. Anong cue natin dito is 335. 335 ba ito? Yeah. Hold on ha. Nandito po. Let's watch and listen to this.
Lacson bilang chairman ng Blue Ribbon Committee at ang kasunod pong balita dyan ay magkakaroon na naman di umano ng kudeta sa Senado.
Again lang po, kasama po yung alin na Tonying. Yung si Senator Lacson.
Nagbitiw as Blue Ribbon Committee chairman at tila baga ang kasunod nito ay mapapalitan na naman si Tito Soto bilang Senate President.
Sa akin po, Tonying, ang tawag ko dyan, isang ginawa para po hindi matanggal si Senate President Soto. Ang tawag ko dyan sa King's Gambit. In other words, dahil lang po nagagalit ang mga kasamahan niya doon po sa mga nangyayari at sa Blue Ribbon Community. Nagtangkang alisin si Soto kung hindi mag-resign si Ping Lacson. Yan po ang aking paningin bilang isang dating politiko. In other words, either to save Soto, bitiw po si Ping Lacson. Dahil sa alam mo ito, Tonying, ito'y wala na akong nakitang mas unstable na Senado kaysa ngayon. Eh, labing-liba po ang bumoto kay Soto, hindi po ba? 15. Doon sa 15, isa doon si Pia Cayetano.
Yes.
Yung pong kapila, nandun yung kapatid niya. Si Alan Pina.
Oo nga, no?
Di ba?
No.
Gago na ako pag sinabi ko makiwalay ang boto ng dalawang yun pagdating sa pagkapangulo ng Senado. Siyempre, magkaisa yun. So, pag yan po ang tunay. Pangalawa, yun po may mga magkakapatid yan. At ibig sabihin, halimbawa, yung mga bilyar, hindi naman pwedeng makiwalay yan ng boto. Sama-sama yan. So, ibig sabihin ito, Tonying, doon po sa 15, tatlo na ang hindi ka sigurado. So, 12 na lang. Hindi pa yung isa
na lang.
Ngayon, si JB Ejercito, nagsabi na hindi siya natutuwa doon sa nangyayari. At ganoon din si Wing Gatchalian.
Yes.
So, palamang, mapapalitan din si Tito Soto. Ngayon, King's Gambit, para po hindi upalitan si Soto, bitiw ng Blue Ribbon Chairmanship si Ping Lacson in order to appease pasabi na. So, yun po ang aking basa.
Alam nyo, coming from you, ay nagkakaroon tuloy kami ng kaliwanagan dito po sa nangyayari sa Senado. In other words, si Senator Lacson ang sakripisyo to save the king.
Tama po yan. Kaya hindi ako makukulit na Tonying, notwithstanding all this talk about the coup. Pag na-maintain po ni, I will not be surprised if Tito Soto remains the Senate President. Hindi po ako makukulat kung kailan po sa pagbitiw ni Senator Lacson manatiling Pangulo ng Senado si Tito Soto.
Alright, yun si former Senate President Drilon and being interviewed by Ka Tonying. Ka Tonying, and yun ang reaction niya tungkol sa plano ni Ping Lacson to step down as the Blue Ribbon Committee Chairman. Parang sabi niya, parang si Senator Ping Lacson will be the sacrificial lamb, no? Scapegoat. To save ang posisyon ni, sino ito? Ni Tito Soto, SP, SP, Senate President Tito Soto. Kasi medyo ang manipis lang ang margin of the majority and minority block dyan po sa Senado. Dyan sa Senado. Alright? So, ang next topic natin dito, or next video clip that I'm going to share, and I think this will be the last one, is about, when we talk about demonstrations, when we talk about faith, religion, like what happened during People's Power 1, the Roman Catholic community really played a very huge or big role in success of People's Power dyan po sa EDSA Shrine. No? That was in 1986. Now, not only sabihin natin ang mga tao po, but also ang mga religious leaders natin po, they are not happy with what is happening sa Pilipinas now when it comes to itong issue na graft and corruption. So, ang ANC, in-interview kay no other than si Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, and nandito ang reaction niya tungkol sa sitwasyon sa Pilipinas ngayon. Hold on. Okay, ano ba yan? Tagle is 316. Let's see, 316. Saan yung 316? Nandito. Let's watch and listen to this.
Cardinal, should the Filipino people who are angry with all of this blatant corruption continue to protest in the streets if we don't see any resolutions in the investigation?
Yeah, the protest must continue, but in different, I should say, be creative in different ways of protesting. I remember there was a time when part of the protest is not to buy products from this one. You don't go out in the streets, but slowly, you are telling the owner of this business, well, we will not support you then, because we don't want to be in cahoots with your, no. So find creative ways of protesting, and make sure that we also provide alternatives.
What is your message to the Philippine government as we face these corruption scandals?
To the people in government, you have been elected by our people in good faith. We give that benefit in good faith. Now, part of your stewardship is to show that you are good caretakers of the wealth of the nation and also the future of our people. As I say this, I'm thinking also of our overseas Filipino workers. So I've been in Italy now for more than 5 years. Normally there is no news about the Philippines. We get space in the news, whenever there's bad news. And, so it is bad news repeated over and over again. And the viewers, especially the non-Filipinos, might think that that is the totality of being Filipino. Imagine, they have an employee, a worker, a babysitter from the Philippines, and they might think, oh, you Filipinos are corrupt. Can I trust you? That is subliminal. So I'm thinking of them too. So as we protest, let us also show signs of hope. I'm sure there are many people of integrity, that should find their space in
the reporting. Yes, there are leaders who are corrupt, but there are many Filipinos who work daily, who sacrifice. And they are the face of the true Filipinos. I dare say that. But they should be given space to give witness to the grandeur of our being Filipinos. So I'm begging, even social media, and the media, please give space to the simple people who are running the country. They are the ones running the country. They are the ones working. And they deserve, this place in our minds and our hearts. And for them, we hope to uplift also, the image of the Filipino.
Cardinal, what is it like speaking and being around Pope Leo XIV?
Well,
Alright, yun, narinig natin po si Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle. Ha? So, yun ang mensahe siya sa mga Filipinos and sa gobyerno po when we talk about itong problema natin sa Pilipinas of graft and corruption. How we are going to address this problem. Address this problem. We should also think about ang reputasyon ng mga ibang Pilipino outside the Philippines who are working, mga overseas Filipino workers. Baka ang mga employers niya po, namin, might think, how can we trust you if ganon ang korupsyon sa nasyon ninyo? So think about it and think about it. But in totality, again, I just want to remind everybody, especially ang gobyerno natin dyan sa Pilipinas, the Filipinos are disappointed. The Filipinos are angry for what you have done. Itong hindi naman lahat, but itong mga culprits, culprits, itong mga tao involved sa scandalous, huge scandalous activities. Itong mga flood control projects natin and other infrastructure development projects intended to be implemented and enforced properly for the good of every Filipino. But instead of doing their job properly, out of greediness, what they did is to pocket our money and enjoy their lives, ang lives ng mga anak nila, mga pamilya nila. Sana may konsensya din kayo. Sana you will have this conscience also. Na hindi lang kayo tao, ang mga tao dito sa Pilipinas. Ang dami pa po. You go out from your house, mentions ang bahay ninyo, the moment you step out, on the way to your office or on the way to a mall or on the way to the airport, you can see shanties, ang mga bahay ng mga Filipino po. Maliit lang, mahirap. Pila-pila ang mga Filipinos sa LRT o sa train, sa buses. Mahirap. Mahirap ang buhay. Hanggang ngayon, selective lang po ang mga areas wherein we can buy 20 pesos rice per kilo. Ngayon, kung may calamities such as what happened dyan sa Cebu, hingi pa ang presidente sa Kongreso for money. Samantala, ang dami ang mga congressmen po, by the billions delivered to their houses. Itong mga dirty money po sa corruption. Ito po, this is really what is happening sa Pilipinas. October 12, yes, there will be a rally. And I'll give you more information regarding itong scheduled rally po dyan sa Pilipinas. Stay tuned lang kayo dito sa Nico Gario Talk with Nico, and whatever updates mayroon tayo po, I will make sure that I'm going to share it with you as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Huwag natin kalimutan to pray for the victims, pray for our country, and pray for ourselves, ang safety, ang health natin po, no? Ang health natin po, especially mga overseas Filipino workers like me, like kami dito sa Sabah. And let's hope that matapos na itong problema sa Pilipinas. Let's also hope that somebody will whisper to the ears of our president, si BBM, na open up itong ICI hearing. Because for as long as you keep it confidential, you keep it secret, you won't be able to get the trust of the Filipinos. So with this, once again, si Nico Fabian would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Ingat lang kayo. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all. And I'll see you in my next episode. Bye!